Hello! Nations League draw has just happened. Guys, thank you all for tuning into the stream. Now, for those of you that don't know, there are 4 leagues in the Nations League. A being the highest ranked of the nations, D being the lowest, and there are a lot of interesting groups. It took me so long to process all of this because genuinely some of these are extremely hard to predict. I know I'm about to get hate no matter what I say for this video. So many of these teams have so much to prove in this competition. I'm going to be giving you guys all my thoughts on the groups today. As always, let me know your predictions in the comments below. Leave an early like, and yeah, let's get into it. We're going to start off with the lower ranks. League D. Now in Group 1, we've got Liechtenstein, Kazakhstan, or Moldova. Those teams still need to be determined where they're ranked. They're going to be playing those matches in March. Now, obviously, I don't know if it's Kazakhstan or Moldova yet. I'm going to go with the assumption, though, that it's going to be Moldova, even though I could be wrong. And with that being said, I'm going to give Latvia that first place spot. They put up very good fights in the World Cup qualifiers against top sides like Netherlands, Norway. I'm not ruling these guys out. I think they have a shot to grab first. Second, it's tough, but I'm going to go with Liechtenstein. Third, Moldova. And fourth, Andorra. Now for Group 2, we've got Malta, Cyprus, or Estonia, and San Marino. The matchup between Cyprus and Estonia is even tougher to predict, I think. I'll say it's Cyprus, but I could be wrong, I know. San Marino, get your first win for everybody. We're all rooting for you. This is your golden chance, but if I were to give a prediction on this, I think you're gonna finish in last. I'll give Malta second and Cyprus first. Now let's move on to League C, where there's a lot more groups, obviously. I think there are definitely some clear favorites in this league, but still, anything's possible. Let's start out with Group 1, with one of the clear favorites, Turkey, Luxembourg, Lithuania, and Faroe Islands. With all due respect, Turkey, if you fail to get first place in this group, you genuinely should be ashamed. No offense to the other teams, but Turkey is miles better than all these sides on paper. I'll give you first place. Don't bottle this, please. I'll say Luxembourg get that second place spot. They actually put up impressive fights in the World Cup qualifiers. Even scaring Ireland at one point, they were above them for a significant amount of time in that group. So yeah, I think this side can even make it interesting, maybe even possibly drawing with Turkey at one point. In third or fourth, Lithuania, Faroe Islands, that is tough. People might have some belief in Lithuania here, but I'm gonna give it to Faroe Islands. They have played some exciting football recently. In the last Nations League, they made things interesting. I'll give Faroe Islands third and Lithuania fourth. For Group 2, this one's very hard to predict. We've got Northern Ireland, Greece, Kosovo, and Cyprus or Estonia. And we're going to assume it's Estonia here. Now, I say it in a lot of my videos, but Kosovo, man, they have fallen off. Despite failing to qualify, they were very impressive in the Euro qualifiers. Then in the World Cup qualifiers, they were extremely disappointing, finishing last in the group. They'll be familiar with Greece, though, as they were in the same group, and they could put up good fights against them. And Northern Ireland, this was the side that took a huge part in Italy having to go to the World Cup qualifier playoffs. I'm obviously hoping Kosovo make a comeback, but I'm going to say Estonia get fourth. I'll say Kosovo finish just above them, but even then, that could be super close. And now first place is tough. Northern Ireland or Greece. Both of these sides had fairly similar records in the World Cup qualifiers in each of their groups, both finishing third, and the second and first place teams were clearly favorites in those groups. Many people probably banking on Greece. I'm going to give it to Northern Ireland, though. I feel like they'll be more consistent throughout the Nations League. Greece will definitely make it interesting, but I could see them slipping a bit from time to time, just falling short to second, and Northern Ireland grabbing that first place spot. Now for Group 3. Slovakia, Belarus, Azerbaijan, and Kazakhstan or Moldova. I'll go under the assumption that it's Kazakhstan here. I think the clear winner here is going to be Slovakia. Yes, they've been very inconsistent from time to time, but I think they can pull off with a decent amount of wins to grab that first place spot. It might be close, honestly, but I have belief in them that they'll grab first at the end. But now second, third, or fourth, I think it's a wild card. If Kazakhstan are able to get in League C, I'll say they grab that second place spot, actually. They obviously finished at the bottom in the World Cup qualifiers, but they made things interesting in that group for sure. And I think they can be rewarded with some wins with these matchups they got. Azerbaijan lately not as good as I thought they would be, but maybe they could turn things around. I'll say they do it. I'll say they grab that third place spot and Belarus get fourth. Now for Group 4. Bulgaria, Macedonia, Georgia, and Gibraltar. Gibraltar here are the clear favorites. Obviously not. Macedonia here are the clear favorites. They've been very, very impressive throughout the World Cup qualifiers. People could make an argument that Bulgaria can get first, but I think it's going to be an easy cruise for Macedonia. Well, not easy, but come on, their World Cup qualifier campaign was fantastic. Such a shame that they got to go up against Italy and then possibly Portugal if they've even passed Italy. Elmas and Bardi absolutely killing it, along with the rest of their squad. Yeah, first place for Macedonia, no question for me. Second, I'll give it to Bulgaria. Third, I'll go with Georgia, and fourth, Gibraltar. And Georgia could prove me wrong and grab second, honestly. I mean, they're able to upset teams like Sweden. Anything's possible. But I have faith in the mighty Bulgarians. That's it for League C. Let's move on to League B now. These nations are scattered all over the place. Some of these groups are impossible to predict. But that's why we're here. Let's get into it. Starting off with Group 1, Ukraine, Scotland, Republic of Ireland, and Armenia. Now, although in the World Cup qualifiers, Armenia went on a decent winning streak at one point, I'm going to say they finished last in this. I am fully aware they can prove me wrong here, but it's going to be a tough task. Ireland at first were looking very, very shaky in the World Cup qualifiers, and then they just bounced back out of nowhere at the end, looking like we can have some more faith in this nation. But the rest is questionable. Now, although I did some praising for Ireland, I think that they will still get that third place spot. I think Ireland can for sure beat Scotland or Ukraine at some point, but at the end, they'll just fall short to third. First or second, it's tough. Ukraine and Scotland have to play each other in the World Cup qualifier playoffs before the Nations League even starts. So a good rivalry between these two nations can definitely occur. I respect anyone's opinion here because it's going to be close, but I'm going to say Scotland get first and Ukraine gets second. Ukraine obviously have a lot of talent, but something in the squad right now just is not clicking and gelling together. Yes, they made it to the World Cup qualifier playoffs. They didn't lose at all at one point as well, but they got an insane amount of draws. Very talented players, Malinovsky, Zinchenko. But Scotland as a unit right now, I would have more faith in them to be consistent in the Nations League, and I'll say they get that first place spot. Won't be surprised if I'm wrong. Good luck to Ukraine, but I'm giving it to Scotland here. We'll see. Group 2, we've got Iceland, Russia, Israel, and Albania. Now, Russia, Israel, and Albania are probably blessed because Iceland was probably looking like the worst team in pot 1 for this draw. They were killing it some years ago, but now their form has totally collapsed. They could definitely grab a win here or there, but I don't see them doing bits in this. I'm going to say Iceland get fourth. But now for third or second or first, Albania and Israel have both had impressive moments in the World Cup qualifiers. I know I keep referring to that, but that's where we've seen them play. Israel even topped Austria in their group. The Austrian motivation might have not been there because they already secured a World Cup qualifier playoff spot, but still it's very impressive. And just like Israel, Albania also got third place in their World Cup qualifier group, behind England and Poland. It's understandable. Lots of exciting talent in the Albanian squad though, such as Broja from Southampton. This is a really tough one to predict because Israel and Albania, both these squads are improving. I think it's going to be a close point gap. Israel getting third, Albania getting second, and Russia getting first. Russia definitely looking like the consistent out of the bunch. Despite losing to Croatia at the very end, they did very well in their group. Prove me wrong, Albania, get that first place spot, but that's my prediction. Good luck to all those teams. Let's move on to Group 3 though with Bosnia, Finland, Romania, and Montenegro. Another very tough one to predict. You all know I'm rooting for Bosnia and Montenegro here. I really am, but I don't see things going their way here. Finland and Romania really just fell short in their group for the World Cup qualifier playoffs. Both those sides still got impressive wins in their group. Bosnia obviously with some world-class players, Dzeko, Pjanic, but look at how Bosnia collapsed towards the end of the World Cup qualifiers. Overall, the team's got a lot of work to do. Unless they make some serious changes at this current moment, I can't see them doing well in the Nations League. Obviously, the ideal situation here is Bosnia first, Montenegro second, but I think it's going to be Montenegro fourth, Bosnia third. Montenegro did have impressive moments in their group for the World Cup qualifiers, but Finland and Romania I think will just be a bit more consistent. I'll say Romania get that second place spot and Finland first. Finland just fell short a few times and, you know, it kind of sucked for them that they had to play France at the end of the World Cup qualifiers. Romania had the second place spot and then they bottled it to Iceland at the very end. Bosnia could be motivated to get revenge against Finland, but yeah, I see Finland grabbing the first place spot. Wow, that might be the first time I rated Finland this highly. Let's move on to the group of death, in my opinion, for this league. We've got Sweden, Norway, Serbia, and Slovenia. As I said in my stream, I do think that Sweden and Serbia are the two strongest teams in this league, and they're in the same group, so it's going to be very interesting to see who tops it off. And we can't rule out the other sides as well. Norway, obviously, with the amazing striker, just falling short of qualifying for the World Cup themselves. Very solid side surrounding Holland, let's be honest. And Slovenia, they got one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Can't forget about Ilicic, but I don't think those few stars will make a difference. I hope they do. I'm hoping the best for Slovenia, but I think they'll get fourth place. They'll definitely get a few wins here and there. I think the point gap in this group will be super close, by the way. Holland could be motivated to do bits. He's still scoring loads of goals in the Bundesliga. Norway also didn't qualify for the World Cup, so they might just want to go all out on this. They're still a solid side. Sweden and Serbia could be doing some experimenting with the squad. This is their opportunity to before the World Cup. Well, obviously, we don't even know if Sweden qualified yet, but they're still in the race. But yeah, I'm going to say Norway get that third place spot. Don't blame anyone for their picks. But my personal opinion is that Sweden will just choke at some point, and Serbia will grab the first place spot. They'll make their statement that they are going to be a dark horse, a possible dark horse, in the World Cup. The squad's just looking stronger and stronger. The belief in the squad is looking stronger and stronger. Both Serbia and Sweden have terrific strikers. Dusan Vlahovic versus Isak. And then you could argue for another position, Tadic versus Forsberg. But I think Serbia will just have enough to beat Sweden on head-to-head. Maybe they'll draw every time, who knows? But that's my prediction. I'm not even trying to be biased on this one. I genuinely think Serbia will be the team, but I won't be surprised if Sweden do it. Well, that's the end of League B. So let's move on to the last league we're looking at, League A. Group 1. Oh, I was very disappointed about this draw. France, Denmark, Croatia, and Austria. Obviously, I'm hoping for a Croatia first place finish, but I doubt that's going to happen. We always seem to fall short to France. Denmark is just looking better and better. They just fell short against us in the World Cup, losing on penalties. I could see them being very motivated to get revenge against us. And Austria, I have no idea how they'll do because obviously they have a lot of talent in the squad, but they weren't looking at their best in the World Cup qualifiers. But the motivation might come back now because, like I said, they're already in the World Cup qualifier playoffs due to their Nations League performance. They could be back for all I know. They could top Croatia. I hope not. I'm still going to say Austria 4th. Well, they can easily prove me wrong. I just see them falling short. This group is very difficult for obvious reasons. I know y'all expect me to put Croatia a bit higher, but I'm putting them at 3rd place. I'm hoping this isn't true. I really am. And I don't think it's going to mean the end for Croatia. You know, this is their opportunity to experiment what they can do in the World Cup. Last time in the Nations League, they were very disappointing. Just getting that 3rd place spot over Sweden. Pretty sure it went down to goal differentials as well. But I also really believe that Denmark will be very motivated to grab their revenge against us, like I said. They finished top of their group, nearly clean sweeping everybody as well in the World Cup qualifiers. On the last match day, just falling short to Scotland. What an impressive side, though. Not to mention Denmark topped England last time in the Nations League. And even some of their B team is doing bits. I'm sorry, Hrvatska. Prove me wrong. I think they can still make things close, though. I could see Denmark even challenging France for that first place spot, but I think it's going to be a close point gap of Denmark 2nd and France 1st. Obviously, France have been somewhat questionable recently, but their squad depth's insane. Hoping that Denmark or Croatia finish above them, obviously. But my truthful prediction is that France will top them. Moving on to Group 2, we've got Spain, Portugal, Switzerland, and Czech Republic. Now, I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball here, and you'll see what I mean in a second. I think Czech Republic will finish 4th. Now, although they're an underrated side, they've beat top teams recently, like Netherlands. I think they can switch up the group around for sure. They're not going to go out with all losses or anything, but they will get that 4th place spot. Most people are probably debating who's getting first, Spain or Portugal. But why are we ruling out Switzerland right now? Switzerland almost beat Spain in the Euros, just falling short to them on penalties in the quarterfinals. I really think Switzerland will make things interesting here. This side also topped Italy, putting the Italians in the World Cup qualifier playoffs. I'm already envisioning all of the hate comments I'm about to get on this. But as of now with the Portuguese national team, I think they're going to finish 3rd. Switzerland 2nd and Spain 1st. I'm really not trying to do Portugal dirty here. I'm just not underestimating Switzerland anymore. One of the most underrated sides in Europe. They're going to make another statement in the Nations League, I think. Hey, this side qualified before Portugal in the World Cup. But yeah, for all we know, Portugal could be the ones that get first and Spain get 3rd. But Spain's transition period that they're currently in is kind of working in their favor. I see them slipping from time to time, but they'll top the group at the end. None of these nations are going to come out clean throughout this group stage. Point gap going to be very, very close. Portugal aren't even going to have a bad run. Like, I genuinely think they'll just fall short. And even then, I could be wrong. I'm aware. Feel free to comment about how much I f***ed up on that one. But good luck to all those teams. Now, Group 3, possibly the group of death. Group 2 already looked hard enough, but now we're looking at Italy, Germany, England, and Hungary. You gotta feel for Hungary. They've been left in the group of death in the Euros, and now they're about to be in the group of death in the Nations League. Genuinely feel bad for this country. Szoboszlai is back though. The belief could be there. They did very well in that Euro group of death despite getting 4th. They put up very, very good fights. I know you can't rule out this side completely, but in all honesty, I think they're going to finish 4th. No matter what I say on this, I'm going to get hate as well, as all of these sides are top notch. Now, although England made it to a Euro final, And they beat Germany in that run as well. Germany now have Hans Flick as their new manager. This guy's the one that won the Champions League with Bayern Munich. Germany in general going through a transition phase right now for sure in terms of that. Germany could want their revenge, but England also could easily want their revenge against Italy. To rule out any of these teams is stupid. I'm not even doing that when I'm giving this order. Just my prediction as of December 2021. I'm going to say Italia struggle a bit here and get third place. England second, and Germany first. I'm not even trying to rule out Italia by putting them in third. I see them just slipping, possibly getting a lot of draws, kind of like how it ended for them in the World Cup qualifier run. England slipping a bit at some points, but then getting a few impressive wins. And then Germany maybe just being that most consistent team out there, seeing a new confident Deutschland under Hans Flick. That's what I'm saying for now. Subject to change, but good luck to all those teams. They'll need it. Now, finally in Group 4, we got Belgium, Netherlands, Poland, and Wales. Wales, even though their most well-known players are not looking at their prime anymore, they still do the job together. We saw it in the Euros. Gareth Bale and Aaron Ramsey partnership still working out. Poland, obviously, with the striker Lewandowski. I definitely think third and fourth is going to go to one of those teams, unfortunately. But who is it going to be? Again, hate incoming. I know the Polish fans always are upset with what I have to say about the side. Now, I think it's going to be a tight race, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I think it's going to finish in that exact order. Belgium first, Netherlands second, Poland third, Wales fourth. I think Wales will get some wins here and there, possibly beating Poland head-to-head. But then I can also see Poland upsetting teams like Netherlands at some points. This group isn't as easy as it looks to predict, in my opinion. Hell, even the Belgium and Wales matchups always end up somewhat interesting. Wales upsetting them in Euro 2016. These sides drew on the last World Cup qualifier match day. I honestly see Wales and Poland sharing the same amount of points at the end, and then Poland just topping them on goal differentials or something. It's going to be a close fight. Belgium, obviously, with the golden generation disintegrating, still have some top players, and I think they'll be able to do enough to grab first place. Netherlands will slip a few times, but still prove to be a top side. And yeah, that's all I've got for you guys. We went through a lot today. Really would appreciate a like on this video and subscribe if you haven't already. And like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments below to anything I said. I might have to do an update video as these matchups aren't happening for some time. But yeah, those are my thoughts for now. Take care. I'll see you all very soon. La cu noci.